1. Which other service offered by Amazon Web Services or AWS can be combined with AWS CloudTrail to enable users to receive notifications whenever certain events take place? A. AWS IAM or Identity and Access Management. B. AWS CloudFormation. C. Amazon SNS or Simple Notification Service. D. Amazon SQS or Simple Queue Service. 2. The DevOps team of a company wants to monitor a web application in greater detail because it has been having intermittent problems recently. In order to gather more advanced monitoring data, which AWS monitoring service should be used to collect the data? A. Amazon CloudWatch. B. Amazon Inspector. C. AWS Config. D. AWS Trusted Advisor. 3. Which database service does Amazon Web Services or AWS prioritize the most as its primary offering? A. Amazon ElastiCache. B. Amazon RDS. C. Amazon DynamoDB. D. Amazon S3. 4. Which of the following services offered by Amazon Web Services or AWS can be used to create and manage virtual machines or VMs in the cloud? A. Amazon EC2. B. Amazon Glacier. C. Amazon EMR. D. AWS Lambda. 5. You are using AWS CloudFormation Designer to work on a complicated stack that was created with CloudFormation. You want to use as little of the available workspace as possible in the designer. Which functionality should you use if you want to hide the left sidebar? A. Use keyboard shortcuts to hide the left sidebar. B. Create a new stack in another window and drag its resources to the original window. C. Close down AWS CloudFormation Designer and reopen it. D. Click on the Collapse View button or left sidebar to hide or show the icon in the top left corner. 6. Which service offered by Amazon Web Services or AWS can be utilized to create and manage DNS records for your respective domain names? A. Amazon SES. B. Amazon Route 53. C. Amazon SQS. D. Amazon Lightsail. 7. An organization has the goal of ensuring that users can quickly access their website from any location in the world. Which service offered by Amazon Web Services would be most suitable for dealing with this situation? A. AWS Global Accelerator. B. Amazon S3 Transfer Acceleration. C. Amazon CloudFront. D. AWS Direct Connect. 8. if you have enabled blank Amazon RDS, will automatically transition to a backup replica in a different availability zone in the event of a scheduled or accidental outage of your primary DB instance. A. More than one write replica. B. Multiple availability zones. C. Multi-region deployment. D. More than one read replica. 9. On your Amazon VPC network, each EC2 instance has a default network interface that is assigned a primary private IP address. What do you call the extra network interfaces that can be established and attached to any Amazon EC2 instance in your VPC? A. Elastic Network Interface. B. AWS Elastic Interface. C. AWS Network ACL. D. Elastic IP. 10. Multiple data points with the dimensions box equals UAT, app equals document and box equals UAT, app equals notes have been created by a user for the CloudWatch metrics. What information would the user receive if he runs a CloudWatch query with the dimensions parameter set to server equals prod? A. All values specified for the dimension box equals UAT, app equals document. B. All values specified for the dimension box equals UAT, app equals notes. C. The last value of the email and SMS metric. D. It will not return any data as the dimension for box equals UAT does not exist. 11. When making API calls, creating IAM policies, or tagging Amazon Relational Database Service or Amazon RDS objects, you must use a blank to uniquely identify an AWS resource. A. IAM policy. B. Amazon resource names. C. IAM used ID. D. Account ID. 12. For what exactly is the API action string create image being used? A. To deregister the specified AMI. After you deregister an AMI, it can't be used to launch new instances. B. To describe one or more of the images or AMIs, AKIs, and ARIs available to you. C. To create an Amazon EBS backed AMI from an Amazon EBS backed instance that is either running or has stopped. D. To initiate the copy of an AMI from the specified source region to the current region. 13. If you wish to use an SSL protocol but don't want to terminate the connection on your load balancer, you can connect the client to your load balancer using a blank protocol. A. TCP. B. HTTP. C. TSL. D. HTTPS. 14. To handle HTTP requests, an application hosted on EC2 instances communicates with the ELB. The X forwarded for header of each request includes 3 IP addresses. Which of these IP addresses will be included in the header? A. IP address of client. B. IP address of CloudWatch. C. IP address of ELB. D. IP address of forward request. The configurations in an organization's AWS account need to be evaluated and audited. It must monitor each configuration change made to any of its Amazon S3 buckets in order to strictly enforce compliance. To prevent data breaches, automatically identifying S3 buckets with public access is also a good idea. Which choices from the list below will satisfy this demand? A. Use AWS Trusted Advisor to analyze your AWS environment. B. Use AWS Config to set up a rule in your AWS account. C. Use AWS CloudTrail and review the event history of your AWS account. D. Use AWS IAM to generate a credential report. Recently, your business adopted a hybrid architecture that links its on-premises data center to its AWS cloud. You have been given the responsibility for configuring the VPC and putting the necessary IAM, groups, roles, users, and policies into place. What is the best method for writing IAM policies in this circumstance? A. Determine what users need to do and then craft policies for them that let the users perform those tasks, including additional administrative operations. B. Grant all permissions to any EC2 user. C. Use the principle of least privilege, which means granting only the least number of people with full root access. D. Use the principle of least privilege, which means granting only the permissions required to perform a task. As a solutions architect for TPT Limited, Adam is in charge of creating a shared service for hosting containers from various customers on Amazon ECS. There are many AWS services that these containers will use. The data from one customer's container must not be accessible by that of another customer, as required. To satisfy the above requirements, Adam has been asked to propose a suitable solution. In this circumstance, what should he do? A. IAM instance profile for EC2 instances. B. Security group rules. C. IAM roles for tasks. D. C85 IAM roles for EC2 instances. Using stateless web servers, TPT Ltd has created a highly available web application. Which of the following services should be used to store session state data? 1. CloudWatch to store data. 2. DynamoDB. 3. Elastic load balancing to be used. 4. ElastiCache. 5. Storage gateway. A. Only 2 and 4. B. Only 4 and 5. C. Only 1, 3 and 5. D. Only 2, 3 and 4. Jacob is an employee of TPT Ltd. It has been requested of his team that they host the data on AWS Cloud, and the primary requirements are as follows. 1. Capability to store JSON documents. 2. High levels of both accessibility and longevity. Which of the following options represents the ideal mechanism for storage that Jacob and his team ought to make use of in order to fulfill this requirement? A. DynamoDB. B. AWS CloudFormation. C. Amazon EFS. D. Amazon Redshift. Your IT director gave you the order to immediately set up an automated backup of each EBS volume for your EC2 instances as part of the business continuity plan for your organization. What is the quickest and least expensive method for backing up all of your EBS volumes automatically? A. Set your Amazon storage gateway with EBS volumes as the data source and store the backups in your on-premises servers through the storage gateway. B. Use Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager or Amazon DLM to automate the creation of EBS snapshots. C. Use an EBS cycle policy in Amazon S3 to automatically back up the EBS volumes. D. For an automated solution, create a scheduled job that calls the create snapshot command via the AWS CLI to take a snapshot of production EBS volumes periodically. Miguel has created an application that needs a highly available relational database and has an initial storage capacity of 8 TB. Every day, this database will expand by 8 GB now. A minimum of 8 read replicas will be needed to handle database reads and support anticipated traffic. Which one of the following should Miguel employ to fulfill these conditions? A. Amazon Aurora. B. Amazon Redshift. C. Amazon DynamoDB. D. Amazon S3. Architecting on AWS. Architecting on AWS is an immersive training experience that combines use case scenarios and practical learning. It covers the services and features needed to build resilient, secure, and highly available IT solutions in the AWS cloud. It also provides best practices using the AWS well-architected framework. AWS solutions architects need to have excellent communication skills. They must be able to explain complex technical topics in a way that makes them accessible to non-technical stakeholders. Key components of architecting on AWS. 1. AWS well-architected framework. Operational excellence. Security. Reliability. Performance efficiency. Cost optimization. 2. Core AWS services. Compute. Storage. Database. Networking. 3. High availability and fault tolerance. Multi-AC and multi-region architecture. Elastic load balancing or ELB. Auto-scaling. 4. Scalability and elasticity. Auto-scaling groups. Elastic load balancer or ELB. 5. Monitoring, logging, and automation. CloudWatch. AWS CloudTrail. AWS Config. 6. Cost management and optimization. AWS Cost Explorer and AWS Budgets. Savings plans and spot instances. 7. Security and compliance. Identity and Access Management or IAM. AWS KMS or Key Management Service. Amazon Guard Duty. 8. Data backup and disaster recovery. Backup and restore. Pilot Lite. Warm Standby. Multi-site. 9. Infrastructure as Code or IAC. AWS CloudFormation. AWS CDK or Cloud Development Kit.